As is usual with things I watch, things are looking a little dire. The entire world is changing around him. And yet our mad scientist, well, he doesn't exactly know how much has changed, how much is possible to be fixed, and the consequences of trying to do so. Time travel is a messy occurrence. Well, that's what you get if you're playing around without knowing the variables of what you're doing. He's done quite a lot with these few experiments. I want to see what else he's got up his sleeve. Yeah, changing the entire cultural aspect of your town or whatever is quite drastic. And it's all due to letting the Ferris send that message. And if she wasn't there to bring it all in, then yep, it's all gone. And how, actually, if just the fact of her part-time job not being there anymore means that there are a lot of factors that would have changed based off of that fact. With the butterfly effect and all that. There are two characters so far in this that I am well, I don't know what to say. I want to know more about their kind of backstories and what's going on with them, because it's not really been fleshed out at all. Being the one that is always on her phone and ignored, and the part-time worker for the store outside. Because there is elements of and undercurrents of deeper things going on there, but it's not really shown anything. And the longer he goes about ignoring it, it might come back to haunt him. Or at least just, it's annoying me. What are they taking pictures of? Oh! And now it's, okay. Ramen. Okay, that's quite a different set of circumstances. Well, at least that stayed correct. He lost. Everything seems relatively similar, but yeah, you gotta be careful. Of course, he would be interested. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't drinking anything at the time. Darrow. These kind of comments are, yeah, probably not going to go down well. Didn't you already change that history? And the fact that everyone is incredibly shocked means that, yeah, it's not part of this wildline. And granted, one, it's something that would be relatively upsetting if someone told you like that whatever, but dude, you know you can easily get out of this, right? You're a mad scientist, remember. Jesus. I'm out! I can't even try to protect you now. That's a crime. Well, looks like he took quite the beating. Deserved. Let's get that straight. Did you explain about... Did you explain that your version of history was like that? Okay. Is this in her mind, like her own little thing, like him being a mad scientist, or? Do you not get much exercise? Oh, we're getting exposition. So he just up and left and you don't know anything about him. Nice. Yeah, there is a slim clue to go on. Sure, he might show up in many places, but why do you have this knowledge of where he might be? Hmm. Does she have a clue of where she's going to meet him? Because she's already received a message from the future. Well, she's not getting the same kind of treatment that the others are, just going up straight with the guinea pig. I mean, yeah, he's going off on a bit of a tangent and hiding it with this mad scientist, guys. I didn't expect that kind of laugh to come from her, considering the interactions that we've had so far. What a name. Hmm. So either way, it won't go to waste, as long as she turns up. Meeting online friends. So you're tricking him. So if he has a true wanting to meet Ferris, he has to come. He has quite a few things he needs to do, but he can be brought into line quite easily now. I actually read that text in the Japanese, not the English there, so I was pleased. Not the same colour, but the threat still remains. I wonder if the colour of this jelly thing is tied to anything in particular. I've actually got some of that in the cupboard. Curry cubes and all that. Yeah. Instead of his usual pontification, he actually has something on his mind now, and he's actually being watched. Light pollution is a thing in big cities. Oh, Y2K, yes, that. How dangerous are fevers in shows and media? And her wish came true. Sure, you can give her that. The choice. So the past changed back then when you was ill? So he actually has some sort of supernatural-ish capability? Yeah, I suppose. No. If she doesn't have the sense to not put whole eggs in the microwave, That could be a bit dangerous. Take any hot knives, especially 2 of them, away from her. You've got your work cut out for you looking after those lot. Well, at least one of them in particular. It's looking quite dire, is it? He took his time, but yeah, he got there eventually. That could have been quite a good. But why though? Is he from this? From what it showed us, I didn't get that it looked like a claymore until she said. Oh, what's this one do? Okay. Oh, you trip everything. So basically, you've made a vacuum cleaner into a hairdryer. Well done. But it overloads everything. Very limited visibility. And yeah, it was nothing like this collaboration of weirdos here, but it doesn't. There isn't anything that is limited to America. That is basically any organization anywhere. We have a lot of prideful people. Is the light gonna come up and... Yeah, I think that was Darrow. I mean, it was obvious, wasn't it? Not turning up. Has something bad happened that you're gonna have to go back and change the past? Things have taken a step forward into moving along, but why though? He's questioning his own ethics of using the machine now, knowing that everything can change like that. If you've already changed the world like this, then yeah, sure, go for it, destroy it. Change as much as you want. Was that where the satellite thing was? That was a noise. One that I'm not going to copy. So is this before or after the party thing? Because I think all he does is change world times. He doesn't actually change time. So, because he can't remember anything. Of course, it must be because he's drinking. I mean, yeah, it's a relatively astute observation, but that's what Dara was going. I mean, if it was the actual title, that'd be some weird. Ah, poor apple pie. How do you get apple pie wrong, though? To be fair, did it freeze frame on that picture there for any particular reason? But what was the reason that she was going to leave? You see, the thing with Okabe is that he does these things, changes the world line, without getting the variables of why things have occurred the way they have. So all he's done is stop something from happening, not understanding why it happened. And if he had not lied to Darrow about Ferris being there, would things have panned out differently as well? Hmm. The thing is, as soon as I get one iota closer to understanding a character or an event, it just compounds it by doubling down on more questions that need answers. And granted, a lot of you have been saying that yes, things do get answered eventually. Good. It's not now, though, is it? And with his possibility of changing the world, and, well, using his current methodology, inability to find out what he's exactly changed, when it changed, how it changed, or why it changed, really. All he's doing is thrashing around, changing all the world lines, and basically living with the consequences each time. But how fortuitous was it that the part-timer's father's name something tighter? to give her that "is it John Titor" thing for a second. And what's with Okabe's past of being ill and then changing world lines to being not ill? Because in their mind he was deadly ill and then just now he's fine. So does that mean himself that travelled from a different world line that is now inhabiting this one overwrites the old one? Which is kind of scary if you think about it. With Miyoshi being as... what's a nice word for it? Innocent as she seems, you might want just to allow her to have that, yeah, sure, you saved my life moment. But still, there are several things that we need to understand, being anything to do with the girl with the phone, basically. As far as I can tell, unexplained animosity towards Chris from the part-timer. And, well, anything to do with any of the world lines converging at any point, because if my thinking can be condensed into a sound effect, it would be that slightly wet explosion. But with the amount of character interactions that he's creating / destroying / not even knowing if they've happened, because his version of events is going to be probably drastically different than reality. I can see things getting quite confusing and potentially dangerous for him, as we've seen with what would most likely be an arrest. Lucky she wouldn't really press charges, but as I was saying, that kind of interaction could be easily solved by him in that moment. You're not a girl, you're a dude. What are you talking about? Blah 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 blah. It worked! Ha 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 ha, mad scientist. We changed the past to make you a girl, because you wanted it. Proof that it works. Ha 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 ha. You got out of trouble, you've proved something. You don't have to sit on your legs for hours. Oh well. He's still trying to get used to this world and exactly what's going on. So maybe you can't blame him? He is insane and probably socially inept. And so, if you've enjoyed this, please let me know, liking the video, commenting down below, or subscribing to the channel. It's a great way to support me. Especially if you want it to continue. Of course, if you didn't want it to continue, you probably wouldn't be watching up until now. So, I really do thank you for watching along, and honestly, it's been very confusing. I'm gonna take a break, and maybe you should get some rest too, because unless the timelines change again, then we're not really... No. It's so dark. Oddly damp.